done that from Joe Miller. Back with Goff. Stephen chests it down to Hurlock. Yes! The equaliser for Rangers. Terry Hurlock's first goal for the future.
It could have gone anywhere, but it went in. It definitely took a deflection and went in, but it was nice to go in.
How did you feel after that?
Overland, you know. I could go anywhere in Glasgow, well, half of Glasgow. But no, I got treated like a lord, like, you know. It was good.
But there was a setback at Tannadice the following week, after a very fine start.
Good running by Stephen, he wasn't picked up. There's Johnston! Rangers take the lead, and the United defence is caught completely napping.
Terry Butcher, and indeed none of us, was to know that this would be his last game in a Rangers jersey. His exit was a trifle embarrassing. But he'll be remembered for his greatness. He led Rangers to one of the most successful periods in their history, and is an Englishman who will always be welcomed back. For 6 weeks later, he was to leave for Coventry, an honorary Scotsman. The next league match found Motherwell typically hard to break down, but perseverance paid off. That great club servant John Brown ending off pressure by being tidily on hand for the only goal of the game. This was a position at the end of September. Some familiar names up there, not too many surprises, but still a long, long way to go yet. Man of the month for September, Ali McCoist, of course, for 6 goals and quality finishing. Rangers Football Club have been innovative in their task of facing up to the future. That's why in the realisation of the building of the new spectacular stand, which will consist of seating for another 6,000, 24 new executive boxes and new hospitality facilities, they instituted a debenture scheme and produced a video to explain the bond system, which offers a seat in the new main stand in perpetuity. A monsoon greeted the Valletta men in the European Cup's second leg, with Rangers already 4-0 up. But the foreigners were to suffer another deluge.
David Dodds has wasted no time. Another European goal for his record. Maybe more to come. Spencer! 2-0. The forwards have got one, but it's very precious for a player playing in a competitive game in the first team for the first time. Stephen is round the back. That's one for Johnston. 3-0. Who's also in that category as well. Johnston! Rafa putting his team in trouble. Alstra. It's a penalty. A rare chance, maybe a unique chance.
The thing is, Martin, if you've seen Chris Woods in five-a-side games, he really does fancy himself as a goal scorer. Never plays in goal. He's always up front knocking goals in. This is a test for him.
Well, it's a collector's item, this. Chris Woods for Rangers. Missed it! And that will take some living down. It's all very congested in the middle. There are players to the left for Rangers. And through the middle. Spencer is one of them. And McCoist! Robertson! Is Maurice Johnston for a hat-trick. He's got it.
And then, at last, he came. Oleg Kuznetsov entered the Blue Room at Ibrox on the 18th of October. One of the finest defenders I've ever seen was now in the Rangers Blue and made his mark immediately in his first match, the 5-0 demolition of St Mirren. But the following week at Perth, the tall Russian met disaster. It must have been agonising for the defender, but perhaps even as much to the management, who were to see £1.2 million of talent last only one game in 20 minutes before being out for the rest of the season. This is one of the hardest blows Souness has ever had to face up to. So at the end of October, Rangers were trailing the leaders Dundee United by 2 points, but with a game in hand in what looked then a very tight race. Man of the month? Clearly Richard Gough for both his goal and inspiration in the Skull Cup final. Meanwhile, the work on the stand continued apace. This required the maximum attendance for the stadium to be cut to 38,000. But it would give the old traditional stand an entirely updated appearance, whilst the outside of the new structure will still retain the familiar Ibrox profile. Next Hibs on November the 3rd. Rangers were now moving strongly.
He did well. Stephen. It's a great cross by Stephen. And Haley scores. Marco's cross. Haley again. Sheer brilliance from Walters. Walters taking on Milne. Chance for Stephen.
Since Graham Souness arrived at Ibrox, Rangers have always been drawn against tough European opposition, and Red Star Belgrade were no exception. Having been beaten 3-0 in Belgrade, Rangers looked to be on a hopeless task against a very talented team, but had always to try to believe in their ability to fight back. But events were not going their way. Back to the league in a stunning 2-1 defeat at the hands of Dundee United, with Rangers' only consolation a superb goal by Ali McCoist. But at Fir Park a week later, Rangers redeemed themselves.
A chance for Walters! Rangers pouring forward, it's Ali McCoist and Johnston! A magnificent goal! Oh, great ball thrown out to Gary Stevens, he must score! Oh, brilliant goal!
I do obviously like to get forward. My first job is obviously to prevent the other side scoring goals. Anything else is a bonus.
Gary Stevens!
On to Celtic Park on the 25th of November, with Nigel Speckman captaining the side in the absence of Richard Gough.
No, there's Boris Johnston! Opportunism at his best! John Collins. There goes Elliott! Yes! There's Collins, looking for Fulton, who was caught there by Harlock. The referee waves play on as Fulton lies on the floor. The Celtic bench incensed by that as McCoist is in the clear, a chance for Rangers. Here's McCoist, he must score! Rangers take the lead! Ali McCoist gets his 12th goal of the season.
At the end of the month, it was now neck and neck, but Rangers' goal difference was now beginning to be significant. Celtic had now dropped out of the picture, but there was little doubt who Rangers' man of the month was: Gary Stevens. His 2 goals at Motherwell had acted like a tonic on the side. December saw Rangers in rampant form. Their play touched the heights, the goals rained in. Ali McCoist came off the bench against Aberdeen. And weren't Rangers fans delighting? His first expression of joy was topped up later. Ali was trying to prove his point. But Aberdeen were to fight back. Jim Bett was to have an outstanding game, his first penalty coolly taken, but the equaliser late on caused by poor defending. Ali was philosophical.
There are days, like in any other profession, you feel down and you feel things are going against you. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't getting frustrated. Actually, it's nobody's, contrary to what some parts of the media have said, nobody's happy about sitting on the bench at all. And especially when they believe themselves they should be in the starting lineup. But that's just one of these things. The manager at that time saw it in a different way.
This might just be about the best goal Ali has ever scored. Certainly his uncertainty of selection didn't dampen his spirits, and one got the impression he was a determined young man. On the 27th of December, it was announced that Ibrox was to have its first international since 1938, when Russia would play Scotland. On the 29th of the month, Rangers won 2-1 at Tannadice, and they were now beginning to stretch ahead in the league. Early days yet, of course, but again, the goal difference columns looked healthy. December's Player of the Month, Mark Walters. His style was captivating, friend and foe alike. Exactly 20 years ago to the day since the Ibrox disaster, Chairman David Murray unveiled a plaque in commemoration of the dead. This touching ceremony preceded the Rangers-Celtic game, which was itself prefaced by a silence.
Off goes Haitley on the run, followed by Derek White. Good tackle that by White. Well, he clearly thought the last touch was by Haitley. The linesman disagreed. Walters, an awkward one, straight into the net! Walters has scored for Rangers! What a remarkable corner kick, right out of the blue!
Yeah, that was a good goal. I mean, I'd love to say I meant to score direct from the goal kick, but if I'll be truthful with myself, it was a fluke. I meant to ping it to the near post. And as I've done that, the turf has just caught my studs and it's made it swerve into the net. I mean, a goalkeeper of Patty Bonner's stature would be disappointed with conceding that goal. But I must admit, it was pleasing at the time, without a doubt.
Referee not interested in appeals for a penalty though, as Walters breaks for Rangers. Walters again, to Sandy Robertson. Beaten to that by Grant, but here's Robertson now with a great chance for Rangers. Taking on Bonner. Pulling it back for Haitley. Sandy Robertson will enjoy seeing this again. 19 years old, remember. Look at the way he took on the goalkeeper. Pulled that back into the path of Haitley with such accuracy. The 2-0 to Rangers, and Mark Haitley gets his second goal courtesy of Sandy Robertson.
Then at Tynecastle on January the 5th, the sort of goal a manager dreams about. The game looked to be heading for a draw, a point down the drain, then 3 minutes to go, this amazing passing movement.
They're going to be under pressure now from Rangers in these closing stages. They have the bit between their teeth. The extra man, of course. Gary Stevens left there by Walters. Haitley now to Johnston. Walters